enjoy and have fun. So come down to your mat at the end of the mat, like this, and then we're just going to bring our body down. You can bring your knees a bit wide as well if you feel like this is uncomfortable with your knees in. So it's up to you. You can play around with having your knees in and then just dropping your chest and your head down. Or you can also bring your knees wide, and that might be a bit more comfortable for you. So choose the option that's good for you. And just rest the forehead on the mat and relax your hands by your side. And just arrive here in the present moment, letting everything go. And then bringing awareness into your breath, pulling the air in through your nose and down through your spinal column. And just notice how your rib cage opens as we inhale and then closes as we exhale. So you're just feeling your back expand out and up and wide on our inhale, and coming back to neutral on the exhale. So I use this with the kids, imagining that you're a ladybug, imagining that your ladybug wings are opening up as you inhale, and then they close as you exhale. And then bring one hand out in front of your head, stretching out nice and long. And then bring the other hand to meet it. So both hands are out in front of your head. And just stretching nice and long in your body. And then just spider your fingers over to one side of the mat. And we're just going to inhale in through that side, breathing into the side body. And then walking our hands over to the other side of the mat, spider, spider, spider. And breathing into that side of the body. Feeling the connection from the pinky all the way down our side body to our hip. And then coming back to neutral, into the center. And I'm just going to slowly walk our hands up. And come to sit on our heels. And if this feels uncomfortable in any way, you can just change to a seated posture. And if you'd like to try this, turning your toes under, a little bit of toe yoga. This can get quite intense, so you might want to do this just for a bit and then change back down to sit on your heels like this. So start like this with your toes under, and you feel a nice stretch in your toes and making your body nice and long. And just breathing in here. Then we're going to have just going to bring our shoulder to one side and start rotating our neck down. And then to the other ear. So we're just bringing our neck from ear to ear. Not bringing it back. We're just bringing it in the front from ear to ear. Just so we can protect the neck. And synchronizing the breath with the movement. So it's good to do a bit of neck and shoulder work at the moment, since we're doing so much work at the desk. So just noticing any tightness in the neck and sending love to that area as we breathe in, and releasing the muscles as we exhale. And then if you want to start doing some circles, just don't bring your head back too much, so you can do some rotations. And if you want to, you can bring your head up, but we're not dropping our head back like this. We're just bringing it up just to protect it, rotating our neck. And then once you've done a few rotations, we can change to the other way. And again, if this is a bit too intense on your toes, if you're sitting with your toes folded under, then you can come back to sitting on your ankles. And then we'll just return back to a nice long spine. And we're going to interlace our fingers in our lap. And then inhale, we're going to lift our hands up to our chest. And then exhale, push away from our body. And feel a nice stretch in between our shoulder blades. That's it. Inhaling, bring our hands up, reaching up to the sky. And then exhale, our hands come behind our back and interlace our fingers behind our back. And peeling open the chest. And then exhale, we're going to fold forward and our head is going to come onto the mat, and we're just going to lift our bottom up slightly. So you're kind of balancing on your head here and your shoulders come up. And if this is uncomfortable for you, you can just sit back on your heels a bit more, and that's also okay. And then coming back up on an inhale. And then on an exhale, releasing your hands and bringing them back to our lap, sorry. And again, inhale, reaching up. Hands come up to the chest. Exhale, we push away. Inhale, hands come above, stretching up, nice and long. And then as we exhale and clasp, try and do it with the opposite thumb on top. So it might feel a bit unnatural, but yoga for the brain. Inhaling, open the chest. And then exhale, folding forward, placing our forehead on the ground and then rolling up onto the crown of our head, and our hips come up. Breathing in for a breath here. And on the next inhale, coming back up. And then exhaling, releasing the hands back into the lap. And we'll try one more time. I think you can do this without my instruction. See how you go. You might even want to close your eyes when you do this. Hands behind the back, and then inhaling, coming forward. Coming onto the crown. Staying here for a breath. And then on the inhale, coming back up. And releasing. Then hands come to our shoulders. And we're just going to do a few rotations of our shoulders, opening up. Synchronizing the breath with the movement. And then the other way. And then releasing our hands back to our side. Okay, left hand comes up above our head. And then our right hand comes behind us, and we're just going to lift up our hips. And then come back down, hand comes above and across. We're painting across, and that hand comes behind us, and then our right hand comes and lifts up. So kind of just moving between these two dancing movements. Inhale as we open up, and exhale as we come back down. I'm turning my toes now because it's starting to get a bit intense with toes, so feel free to do that as well. And one more on each side. And then once you've done an even amount on each side, come back and we'll curl our toes back so your feet are flat on the ground now. So, and hands come into our lap. And we bring our hands wide. And we bring our hands into our heart. And now we're going to do our moon salutation. So I think last week, if you're here, we did our sun salutation, which you normally do in the morning, and it builds a bit of heat. Moon salutations, they're really nice to do if you want a bit more of a calming sequence instead of a heat one. So it could be good, you know, if you want to move your body but you're on your period, or you can do it, we're doing it in honour of the full moon because it's full moon tonight and tomorrow, so that's why we're doing the moon salutation today. It's a really nice sequence. So here we are, inhaling, bringing our hands up and wide, and then exhaling, fold your body down, and then inhale, we're going to snake our body forward and roll our spine down. Then our hands come up to the side of the mat, or you can have them close to see what feels best in your shoulders. And we're just going to push up a tiny bit, not too much yet, just warming up the spine, inhaling, coming up, and then exhaling, rolling the spine back down. Hands come to the side of our body, curling the toes, and we come to downward facing dog. We'll stay here for a breath, just pedaling out because it's our first downward facing dog. And if you haven't done a downward facing dog before, we need to just bend our knees quite a bit so that we can send our hips backwards. A lot of people think that we need our feet flat on the ground and straight legs, but that kind of makes our body come forward a bit. So aim is that we're kind of pushing back and we're taking the weight off our hands and sending our hips to the back of the mat. And to do that, we're bending our knees and trying to bring our chest towards the thighs. Breathing in one more time. And exhale. And now looking forward in between your hands and bringing your left foot into the left thumb tip. Dropping the back knee. And inhale, we bring our hands up. And we're going to just be in a crescent lunge here. And we're just making our body nice and strong and long. And turning the front hips crease, trying to just bring that back slightly, and then we can lean into the front leg slightly more. Inhaling again, making your body nice and long, and then on the exhale, releasing the hands, placing them either side of your foot, lifting up the back knee and stepping forward. And we come into a forward fold. We'll just hang here for a bit, releasing the back of the hamstrings and the lower back. You can grab onto each elbow here, folding forward. Or you can just play around with swaying from side to side and spidering your fingers around. Or you might just want to hang like a rag doll, that's okay as well. So just listen to what option your body feels like doing today. Then I'm going to lift up halfway, sliding our hands up our shins to a flat back. That's it. And then forward fold, we come back down, sliding our hands back down. And then we're going to get ready to stand all the way up. So this is where we need to engage our core, keep bending our knees, hands come nice and wide. And then we bring our hands up, we look up at the sun, and then we bring our hands down to our heart. And we'll just stay here for one breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhaling, dropping our hands, bringing them up and wide, reaching up to the sun, and then exhale, going to bend our knees nice and generously as we swan dive our hands forward in a V down towards our feet. And then on the next inhale, we slide our hands up our shins to a flat back. And as we exhale, we fold back down, hands place against our either side of our feet, and we're going to step our left foot back. So you're stepping the same foot back, so we should have now the right foot forward. That should be the opposite one. Inhaling, our hands come up. And then just check in with your position here. We can try and bring the front hip crease back a tiny bit and lean into the front leg. Or you can also uncurl your toes. And inhaling, looking up. You can even try a slight back bend as well if that's comfortable for you. But see how your balance is going today. And then inhaling, coming back up, reaching up to the sun, and then exhale, hands come to frame our foot, curling our back toe under if it wasn't already, and then lifting up the back knee. We're going to step our front foot back to downward facing dog. And then pedaling out here, remembering to bend the knees and bringing the chest towards the knees and the thighs. And you can play around with lifting up the heels and then exhaling and bringing them back down. And then we're going to roll our body forward, dropping the knees, and then we're just going to roll our body down along the mat. And again, choose where your hands would like to be, where it's comfortable for your shoulders. But we're going to inhale and come back up. Tiny little stretch in the thoracic spine. You might want to do a few little movements here. Some little twists if you want, but just always remembering to listen to what your body is asking. And in this pose, just always trying to think about your shoulders coming down, because we tend to want to bring them up towards our ears. So just making sure that we're not holding any tension in our shoulders when we do this. Okay, roll it back down. Hands come to the side of our body, and then we're pushing up and sending our hips backwards to a long child's pose. And then inhaling, coming back up. And exhaling, bringing our hands into our heart. And so we're going to try that sequence all again, but this time we will do it a bit faster without holding each pose for as long. Inhaling, reaching up. And then exhaling, folding forward. Hands come to the mat and we bow our head on the earth. Inhale, sneaking our body forward. Just comes close towards the mat, and we lower our body down on the exhale. Inhale, we lift up top of our spine into a baby cobra, and then exhaling, rolling our body back down. And inhaling again, curling the toes, and on the exhale, pushing our body back to a downward facing dog. And then inhaling, looking forward, stepping our left foot forward and dropping the back knee. Exhale. Inhaling, hands come up, and we reach up. And on the exhale, our hands come back down, framing the front foot. Inhale, looking forward, lifting up the back knee, and then bouncing, and on the exhale we come forward. Forward fold. Inhale, our hands come up our shin, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands come wide in a V, reaching up to the ceiling, and exhale, we bring our hands down into our center, into our heart. Inhale, hands come wide, reaching up. And then on the exhale, bending our knees and folding our body forward, touching the earth Inhaling halfway, sliding our hands up, our shins to a flat back, and exhaling forward fold. Hands frame both of our feet, and we step the left foot back. Now the right foot's forward, dropping the back knee. Inhaling, bringing our hands up into our crescent lunge. And then exhaling, hands come wide. And we frame the front foot. Inhaling, looking forward, curling our toe and lifting our back knee. And on the exhale, we step back to our downward facing dog. Inhaling here for a breath. And exhale. Inhaling, rolling our body forward. And then on the exhale, we drop our knees and we roll our body down. Inhaling, lifting up the shoulders and the top of the chest, baby cobra. And exhaling, rolling the spine back down. And then resting here. Inhale. And then on the exhale, we push our hips back to child's pose. And exhale. Inhaling, reaching up to the ceiling. And exhale, our hands come down into our chest. And then just sitting here for a minute. Breathing in and breathing out. So it's a nice little sequence that you can do. You could watch this video again when I put it on YouTube. And you can do it how I did it the first time. You can hold each pose for a few breaths and do it a bit slower, or you can do one breath per pose and do it the faster pace that we just did. So they're both quite nice ways to do it, and just listen to what your body needs. It's a nice sequence to do before bed if you want to move your body. Again, we're doing it today because it's the full moon. So full moon's all about releasing. So thinking now about something maybe that you're holding on to in your life, something this week that is no longer serving you, and we're just going to release it into the universe. And then inhaling all together, and then we're going to bow together in Namaste. And then bringing some nice positive energy into the rest of your day.